The third-party agreements, library, are you taking this, Mr. Miller?
I'm going to start.
Okay. We've got on the agenda 45 minutes for it, but that went over about 20 minutes. So do you have
I think we should take however much we need.
Okay.
Well,
Is that, well, I guess my question is to
But you have
the,
to decide if you want to do
right.
that. If you want to extend
Do we
it,
want to,
you have to take a vote.
yeah,
In
because,
every committee and public meeting that I ever have, we go until we're done.
so we have our bylaws, as Member West pointed out to us last time, limits this city schools meeting to 2 hours.
Well,
So if we want to extend it, we can do it by motion, or we can
don't
amend the
limit
agenda.
Committees, we don't limit anything else. I mean,
Well, can we wait till we get to about 7:25 and let's see where we're at?
yeah,
And
just roll it. Come on.
if we fail, then we can
Why
expand.
should we limit this one?
So
Okay.
everybody's been forewarned to be brief, so we'll try to do that.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
I'm not going to do the main part of the presentations to you, others will, but I'm going to do a little bit of a context setting here before we start. The work that we've all been doing for so many years now is really all about partnerships, and that's reflected in even the banner that you see for the school district all the time about partnerships powering student success. It obviously powers community success as well. And so third-party agreements, it sounded awfully dry to me as I was thinking about how to talk with you about this evening. And that it's really about the partnerships. And so what you're going to be hearing about tonight are two of those major partnerships, one having to do with health and wellness and the other having to do with library services. But I also want to put that in context. The main partners here are the 10 of you sitting at this table. I mean, the city and the school district are the main partners that we are all talking about, and the joint occupancy agreement that we're working on establishes you two as the lead partners of this whole enterprise. Third party, as it's referred to here, really has to do with the next tier down. The joint occupancy partners are you two. Below that, however, or within that, let's say, are some of these other major partnerships that we have been developing and that you will continue to develop. And honestly, they will change over time. You two, the city and the school district, are really the permanent rocks. You're the anchor tenants, or however we want to put it. And the other third-party agreements may last for decades, but they may also change over that period of time. So that's the first piece of kind of the big picture here. Tonight, what I'd like to have you, tonight's agenda is really about being able to bring all 10 of you up to speed on where we are in the discussions about those two major partnerships with a health clinic entity and with a potential library entity. I also want you to recall that the joint occupancy agreement, which you're also currently reviewing, does describe these third-party agreements and specifically has a paragraph or two on each of these. And what that joint occupancy agreement says is that the city and the district will work together on each of these major partnerships, each of these major third-party agreements. And that's definitely not only the intent, but that's the plan. Secondly, I want to say that that legal structure of the joint occupancy agreement anticipates these third-party arrangements, and it allows for flexibility in them over time. You two, the city and the school district, you're joined by something that the State Board of Education has even approved, and you are joint occupant partners. These other entities will be in some informal agreements with you, but at a bit lesser stature than that relative to the Center of Community Life. Same is true of the facilities design. the facilities design can accommodate a lot of different future and even perhaps near-term third-party agreements. So the way that the facility has been designed, the health clinic space can be a school-based health clinic. It can be a community health clinic. It may actually have even other realities that we have yet to think about. And the same thing with the library. The library can and will function as a school library. It can and probably will function as some aspect of a public library, and defining that is very much yet to come. But the facility itself can work on a number of different levels and with a number of those different futures. And we'll talk a little bit further about that. And so then finally, the last thing I want to say before introducing the other folks that'll talk is that for both the health clinic and for the library partnerships, we're at a perfect time at this juncture to have a much deeper relationship between the city and the school district in both of these program areas to move forward and actually negotiate and form these partnerships. And so I'm going to let Juliet Dunn, who's the district's director of wellness, I'm going to let her describe where we are with the health clinic work. And then following that, we'll have a discussion with you'll have a discussion with the folks who have been helping us look at the very beginnings of creating an operating library that's both for school and for the public. We'll want your input tonight on two fronts. For the health clinic, on how you see the city and the school district developing a deeper partnership in that arena and taking that forward with the medical provider partner. We don't have a big overarching agreement yet with that partner for what services are going to be delivered in the ECCL and how the city and the district are going to be working together to do that. So we'd love your input about that. And then with the library aspect, we know that we will need to run an RFP to find a library partner. We're thinking that that sort of RFP could run, perhaps bringing you a draft RFP for your input late this calendar year, and then actually conducting that process and making a selection towards spring of next year. But again, I would love your thoughts about actually developing that RFP, and if you have any different thoughts about timeline, that's welcome as well. So Juliet will start, and then we'll talk with the library folks as well.